Hey, have you ever thought about how easy Terraria would be if you started off with a really overpowered weapon? No? Just me? Well, that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm playing Terraria, but the only weapon I can use in this run is the meowmere. How far will I get? You have to watch to find out. Alright, so I started off this run like any good player and started building a base into an NPC housing, as this will come in incredibly useful for this run. Heading right, I noticed a little cave under the ground, so I dug in and I was hoping to get a little bit early game ores and things like that, and I came across the inner works of a living tree. It had two chests, but neither had great loot, but I took them both anyway, as that meant I didn't have to craft any chests for a while. While I wandered around the caves, I came across my first life crystal. After coming back from my first mining trip, I realised I needed a furnace, so I started heading off to go get some stone. And that's when a blood moon rose. On the first night. That's unheard of. Lucky for me, I was using the meowmere, so I didn't even take any damage at all. I just ended up using the opportunity to grab as many lenses as I could. This meant I didn't have to spend my time later getting lenses for the Eye of Cthulhu spawner. A little while later, the blood moon ended, so I headed left and straight to the jungle. Came across a beehive, so I started mining into it to make an arena for Queen Bee, and it didn't go to plan. I accidentally spawned her in way too early. Even though it didn't start how I wanted it to, it ended how I wanted it. But of course it did, I had the meowmere, so it wasn't really anything to stress anyways. After this, I headed straight over to the corruption to go make some suspicious looking eyes. Made a total of 2, and this was to give the Eye of Cthulhu the same fate Queen Bee just had twice. Right after, I felt like going on my little rampage, so I headed straight over to the corruption, and it was Eater of Worlds time. I broke the first orb, the second orb, and the third, and of course, this fight was a walk in the park. Meowmere absolutely dominated. And I thought, I'm going to need some better armor, so let's go for this shadow armor. And for that, I was going to need more demonite and shadow scales. So I decided one more Eater of Worlds couldn't hurt. When I came back to the surface, I didn't even get my chance to make my shadow armor, as I had to quickly deal with the goblin army. These guys are always just a nuisance to me. The only benefit is you get the goblin tinkerer. After that though, I did get to craft the world supply of demonite, in which I then made the nightmare pickaxe and the full shadow armor set, which I then instantly equipped. And this is also my personal favorite armor set. Afterwards, I headed right looking for the dungeon, as I felt it was time to take on Skeletron. I reached the dungeon much quicker than expected and didn't have anything else to do, as it was still daytime, so I just spent my time making an arena, waiting for night. Nighttime came, so I quickly spawned in Skeletron. He was a pretty easy kill, nothing too difficult, but of course that's what you get when you have the meowmere. Afterwards I headed into the dungeon to give it a quick exploration, but as I wouldn't be using any of the weapons from the dungeon, this meant that this exploration of mine was pretty much just a waste of time. My next objective was to get hellstone bars. The reason was for the molten pickaxe, as this pickaxe can mine all of the hard mode ores, and it's much easier to obtain pre-hard mode rather than just hard mode. So I collected enough hellstone, and then I got enough obsidian, and then I headed straight back up to the surface to go craft my molten pickaxe. After that, I started digging a elevator, collecting life crystals along the way, and then I built a little house for the guide in the underworld, as it was much easier than just waiting for a voodoo demon. A little while later, the guide spawns in the huts that I have made for him, so I waste no time and I throw him into the pits of hell to fight the wall. And the wall went down much faster than I actually thought they would. Like, even Skeletron took more of a beating than this thing. With the wall of fresh down, it was time to collect my loot. Straight away I went to go use the hammer to take away some of the altars from the world, unlocking the hard mode ores, in which I then collected every single one of them. I then made a orichalcum anvil, then decided it was time to go make the mech boss summons. So I went on the hunt for the hallow. I first headed left because I hadn't already been all the way to the left side of the world, in which I didn't even find the hallow. So logically, I went right. Going across, I was hoping that the hallow was somewhere near. I still couldn't find it anywhere. I reached the dungeon and I was hoping it'd be behind the dungeon on the beach somewhere, but it wasn't. So I quickly checked my map to make sure I haven't made any mistakes and I haven't missed it somehow. And I didn't miss it. Somehow my world is in hard mode with no hallow. So I did the natural response and blamed my NPCs and bombed them. I just really quickly at the end of this video wanted to say thank you guys so much for getting me to 100 subscribers. Started posting these videos as a little joke and not expecting them to actually get any views. You guys have actually done it. And if you'd like to join the Discord server, it is in my channel bio. Anyways, have a good one.